Well, it's that time again, time to have our small group reading lesson, which I enjoy every day. So let's begin. Just to remind you, I am looking in my email and my post office box every day to see if I get a letter from you. There's my address at home and my email address. Hope to see you. Let's review what we gathered yesterday in our KWL chart about volcanoes. All of you boys and girls said that you already know that they can be on mountains, on land, and near the sea. They can be dormant or active. The magma makes them erupt. Some volcanoes are not erupting anymore. You can make a model of a volcano with Play-Doh, and there's lava inside them. Questions you had: why do volcanoes erupt? How do volcanoes erupt? How does volcanoes make lava? What happens to the lava after it erupts? The things that we learned yesterday was that in 1980, a large mountain named Mount St. Helens erupted, causing all kinds of destruction. We also learned a volcano is an opening in the earth through which lava, ash, and gases come out, and that lava is hot melted rock that comes from deep inside the earth. And lastly, when gas gets trapped inside the earth, it explodes, causing a volcano. Let's get back in our book with chapter 3 of All About Volcanoes. Remember, boys and girls, it's very important that you put your eyes on the text and that you track with your eyes, or you can use the end of a pencil or whatever, a bookmark, but you need to try to read along with me. Chapter 3, Volcanoes Under the Sea. Some volcanoes erupt on land, and some volcanoes erupt under the sea. The islands of Hawaii are volcanoes in the sea. The volcanoes erupted many years ago and sent out streams of hot lava. The lava cooled into rock under the water. Each time the volcanoes erupted, the rocks got higher and higher. Finally, they rose over the top of the sea. Chapter 4, Volcanoes and People. Volcanoes are dangerous when they erupt. Hot lava, gas, and ash burst out of the earth. Yet, many people choose to live near volcanoes. The lava and the ash make the soil rich and good for farming. Rice, pineapples, and other plants grow well in volcanic soil. People in Iceland use the heat from volcanoes to make electricity. Pipes pump water through the hot rocks underneath near a volcano. As the water heats up, it turns to steam. The steam is used to make electricity. Now it's time to go back to our KWL chart. Notice that when it comes to the L, oftentimes you may have to add a second chart under the L because you've already learned those many things. So let's move on. Now it's time to add a few big facts that we learned after reading chapter 3 and 4 of today. Chapter 3's title was Volcanoes Under the Sea. So I want to include how that actually happens. And I do remember us reading about that, and you can go back and look at it yourself, but it said how the volcanoes get higher and higher until they rise on top of the sea, but they start underneath. So this is how I wrote it. The islands of Hawaii were formed by volcanoes erupting under the sea, forming rocks one on top of another until they rose over the top of the sea. I feel good about that. That pretty much summarizes that chapter, doesn't it? Now I'm looking at chapter 4. The title of chapter 4 was Volcanoes and People. What did it say about volcanoes and people? We know volcanoes can be dangerous, but I remember reading something about that people really like what the effect of some of the volcanoes are, because it provides like really good soil. So let's see how I could write that down as a fact of what we have learned. The lava and ash make the soil rich and good for farming. Now, we also talked about in there that it wasn't just the lava and the ash that made the soil rich, but it was about people in Iceland, and that they actually used the hot rocks from underneath the sea to produce electricity. Let's see, how could I summarize this? In Iceland, they use the hot rocks underneath to get the water to warm up, and then it turns to steam, which can be used for electricity. Wow, we really are learning so much about volcanoes. Many things I had no idea, especially this last one in Iceland. You think about the power of a volcano that can do damage, but it also can do good. I'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.